Hello and welcome back to the HeroesHype Amateur Series, and boy do we have a treat for you, an extra game!
Woohoo! Extra good.
That's right, the Goon Squad and Fraud eSports have moved into Game 3 of their semifinals, and we thought, well, we could just sit and wait for that game to be done, or nah, let's cast it.
I also like that, I know you probably can't see this yet, but in the draft, Goon Squad, with a clever typo, has labeled themselves Good Squad. They are now just good.
We'll have to see if they will be, in fact, Good Squad. And
we shall see who is good and who is not. Ah.
We shall. But let's move on to the draft before we are any crazier. As we're going to be on Blackheart's Bay, Anna's favorite.
I love this map. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. I'm excited to see it, and Fraud eSports is not excited to see Sylvanas, so they ban her, first off. We've seen Sylvanas in every game so far since I've been here, so she's going to take a game off.
Yes, I believe that she probably has lots of other things to disable with her black arrow, so she's just going to say, hey, no thanks. But similarly, the Good Squad, aka Goon Squad, has chosen to ban the Lost Vikings, so no pushing here. Guys, this is a pushing-free zone.
No pushing, no shoving, all sorts of good sportsmanship, but no Lost Vikings either. Fraud eSports picking up Illidan decisively, very quickly. A great pick, a good damage dealer, someone we saw perform very, very well in Heroes of the Dorm. I think that I heard that there was an 100% correlation between picking Illidan and winning games.
In the finals, at least, yeah, for sure. He was in them all. It was like, okay, now ASU gets Illidan and they win. I liked the cheeky play with the Muradin trying to counter him, and it seemed like work was okay, but wasn't quite enough.
And Goon Squad saying, all right, you have Illidan, but we'll take these two damagey ladies, making sure you don't get them as well. Vala and Jaina will go to Goon Squad.
I really like this pair. I love Vala and Jaina together. They dish out so much damage and are awesome to boot, and I feel like every time I see a team pick them up together, at least, more often than not they win, so it'll be up to Fraud to prove us wrong with that, though. And, of course, positioning does play a huge factor in that.
Absolutely. There's still many, many heroes to be picked. Fraud eSports is now looking and saying, okay, Goon Squad has two solid damage dealers. They're probably not looking to pick up many more. And so maybe we can be safe waiting to pick up our damage dealers till later. So they're going to go with halfway in between. They're going to take Tassadar, who is a support, technically, but also a great... a really solid kind of, as we say, Sapassin or half support. Somebody who can also do some damage and impact the team fight, for example. And then Uther they're going to grab for the solid healing and a little bit of tankiness. And a good pick. I'm liking this so far, Gilly.
Yeah, Uther has that divine shield he can throw on Illidan, which, of course, just helps keep him alive a little bit longer. Illidan is very squishy, but deals a ton of damage, and has good self-healing, but definitely needs a little bit of support there. And divine shield from Uther, plus heals, and then, of course, the shields from Tassadar. It's really going to be looking at keeping him alive, and probably going to do very well in doing that.
Absolutely. Now, from Goon Squad... we still haven't seen a tank picked, so Goon Squad has the opportunity to choose which tank they would like. They go ahead with ETC, and ETC can do all sorts of great things on Blackheart's Bay. Stage Dive can bring him to the fight very quickly if need be. That can help when you see treasure chest spawn, for example, or needing to be immediately at turn-in for a team fight. But also Mosh Pit can do all sorts of great things with making sure that nobody can go anywhere while Vala and Jaina just rain down damage and burst kill them. So ETC certainly a solid pick, certainly works well on this map. We don't see any supports yet, so we may see a support, although we already have supports picked from Fraud, so Goon Squad may be more looking to pick up something that they haven't looked for, if that makes sense. Not really, but you know what I mean, Billy.
I understand. Yeah, I think we'll maybe see a support here. Once again, it comes down to, do they pick up their supports so that they have their last spot open so they can decide between, damage or another support or something to try to deal with anything funny that Fraud brings out? Or do they secure a damage dealer here and just ensure that they've got a lock on the damage dealers that they would prefer? And they are going to go with the support. They pick up the Rhaegar. I like that choice there because it does, like I said, leave them a little bit of option for countering whatever Fraud brings out here, which will most likely be a damage of some type and then also a tank.
Totally. Good call on that. Rhaegar can be, of course, can be joined by a half support, but also we know for sure can support an entire team by himself. Ooh, we get the hammer! Fraud eSports treating us to the lady in the tank, Sergeant Hammer, and then finishing off with a Muradin tank. So we're seeing a lot of variation from the typical Diablo ETC with this Muradin play. What do you think, Gilly?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to have a lot of stuns from Uther and Muradin, of course. And stunning people within range of Sergeant Hammer is always wonderful. And that's what they will be looking to do, of course, wanting to fight within that range of her siege tanks so that they can make sure to maximize the amount of damage that they're doing to the Goon Squad. But the Goon Squad have a lot of mobility, and at least in Vala, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do as far as stage dive. If ETC stage dives right on top of Sergeant Hammer, then that could be a little bit difficult. So it'll be sort of the mobile versus the kind of mobile, kind of not. Like Illidan's really mobile, but Sergeant Hammer is not. And then Muradin, of course, is a little stumpy dwarf. But Goon Squad now, what could they pick here to try to deal with the Sergeant Hammer?
Oh, well, it looks like they're going to go for a Zagara.
I like that.
So, yeah, Vision is going to be helpful here. Mob might be helpful here if they choose to go that route. She also deals a solid amount of damage, so they're saying, all right, if your team has kind of this rangy ability, we are going to make sure that we've got lots of damage so you don't have time to use your stuns or any of those things. So, I like this pick.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what both teams will do with these. I feel like it'll, in my opinion, looking straight at these, it'll be up to Fraud to kind of make that work. Sergeant Hammer, of course, got nerfed in the last big patch. Her health went down pretty significantly, and so that's why we haven't seen her quite as much as we used to see. But, of course, we still see a ton of Illidan, and, Illidan wins games, so we shall see. Illidan's also really great because he can Merc by himself pretty early on in the game, and there's a lot of Merc camps on this map. There's a lot of places where you can go pick up coins as well, and of course coins being the name of the game here because you got to turn them into Blackheart to have him attack the structures. We saw a lot of Sky Temple tonight, but I don't think we've had a Blackheart's Bay game yet.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. In case you guys aren't familiar with Blackheart's Bay, a quick summary is that kind of like the Tomb of the Spider Queen where we saw gems being turned in. On this map, we're turning in doubloons, but the price is not quite so high. It's going to start at just 10 doubloons for a turn-in. Once a team manages to turn in 10 doubloons, which you can get by grabbing the doubloon camps or mercenary camps, you get 2 out of each of those, then that team will hire Blackheart to shoot lasers out of his pirate ship. Well, cannonballs, not lasers. Cannonballs.
Space pirate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He could basically
that would be amazing.
Mal.
I was just talking to Ask Joshy about this. I think we need to start having map skins so we could have like sci-fi space pirate. Also, I would really like to have tributes be cupcakes. So like a bakery cursed hollow. This is really important to me. So Blizzard, please get on that.
I would love if they did holiday ones.
Ooh, yeah,
Wouldn't that be
Christmas
neat?
time ones.
Like Christmas time ones, and then like it wouldn't have to be every single map have a skin for every single holiday, but they could just make like certain ones.
I love that idea.
Theme. I'm thinking that it would be pretty easy to turn Blackheart's Bay or Tomb of the Spider Queen or Cursed Hollow into something for Halloween. So. All right, Blizzard.
I mean, if Clash of Clans...
We're just giving these ideas away. Sorry.
If Clash of Clans can do it, Blizzard can do it. So, the gauntlet is thrown, Blizzard. You heard it here first. Or maybe you didn't, but we will tell you later then. So, we're now on the... on Blackheart's Bay. Let's introduce our teams. For Fraud eSports, we have Anxiety Lol on Tassadar, Bella Morte on Sergeant Hammer, Lex Uther on Uther, appropriately, Kiefer's playing Muradin, and Hao Nguyen on Illidan.
And for our blue team, the Goon squad, we've got Get Up playing Rhaegar, Hastion, Zagara, Teebs on E, Teebs C, as Bella Morte said, Goat playing Vala, who is not riding a goat, and Yoda playing Jaina.
Now, we didn't see both teams run for vision, but it looks like Goon Squad's going to run up there and grab that vision cam. That's just kind of a tradition in Heroes for some reason or another that teams fight immediately over that vision camp. But Fraud Esports, not subject to tradition. They're going to go 3 in the top lane, 2 in the mid. No one in the bottom lane for them right now.
Yeah, interesting. They don't have anybody there quite yet, but here comes Hao and Anxiety, dealing a lot of damage to Hasti right off the bat, trying to push her back as much as possible just to be able to set up for the chest, which are going to spawn it in 5 seconds.
Yeah, interesting they were choosing to wait by where Blackheart would spawn. They don't soak any experience there. I guess they thought Hosty might poke her head up there or something like that, but they are zoning out to make sure that they have room for this chest, which has now spawned. And we also see a very quick grab on that chest from Goon Squad up in the top.
So the next battle will be, of course, over the coins here in bot. So far, Anxiety had picked up 1, but now they're taking quite a bit of damage there. They've got to be careful. They will pick up the rest of them, I think, except for 1. So in that, the Goon Squad has picked up 6, yes, and then 4 were picked up from Fraud Esports.
Yeah, now the teams have to look elsewhere. There are going to be doubloon camps that will spawn, as well as mercenary camps that will spawn, that will also provide gold, so they're going to need to get on that. Neither one having enough to turn in right now. If they managed to take out one of their opponents, for example, if Get Up had gone down there, then those 2 coins would have dropped on the ground, and it would have been fair game for anyone to pick up. So unlike the gems that can only be picked up by your team, doubloons can be stolen.
I just heard a really, cowy sounding. Must have been ETC. I've never heard that before, I must say.
Battle cow.
That's a first, yep. So we are seeing Get Up starting to go and take out some of those pirate camps. And we'll probably see Illidan doing something similar. Yep, he's actually going to go after these sieges here on bottom, something you can definitely do as Illidan early on. And that's one of the nice things about these really mobile heroes like Rhaegar and Illidan, and even like Zeratul as well, as they can easily go and pick up these coin camps really fast, even if they're on kind of the scarier side.
Hao Nguyen being very low and finding himself in Jaina's clutches. Will he be able to get away? No. Will go down, and Jaina will make quick work of this mercenary camp, grabbing these siege giants as well as 2 doubloons for her team.
Well, Lex Uther getting very low, will be killed thanks to a great multi-shot from Go on Vala. So far, Goon Squad really being decisive, being aggressive here. They've not only grabbed those... Did Muradin just not see Jaina picking those up? I'm confused. Grabbed stuff on the opposite side, but also they were able to secure a kill on Uther, and it looks like they might be trying to turn in here.
Yeah, Jaina with 9 coins, wanting to get those out of her pockets and into Blackheart's pockets. Looks like Kiefer's knows she's doing that, though. Doesn't manage to interrupt. Kiefer's will probably turn around and turn in his own 3 coins as soon as he gets these pesky roaches out of the way.
Rhaegar is the one with the majority of the coins, I think, on the Goon Squad, and he's up top, so it's going to be a bit until they get their first turn-in. There's a little bit of a fight happening over turn-in now, as Hosty would like to just keep anyone from Fraud from being able to turn in. And that's one nice thing about this creep here, is that you can always see when they're trying to turn in, and that gives you a really good advantage. But Fraud does have Tassadar, which at least helps with a little bit in that regard.
It's going to be a one-on-one battle in the bottom. Goat versus Anxiety Lull trying to grab coins. Probably Anxiety Lull, now joined by Yoda, will come out on top. The fight for the top chest, I missed it happen so fast. Looks like it probably went to Fraud?
Yeah, I think Teebs stole 2 off of there, but mostly they went to Fraud there. Pretty sure. I was actually checking out the bottom one too, but here comes another turn-in for the Goon Squad, and this will actually be the first turn-in as both teams hit level 7.
That means that Blackheart will now be unleashing his barrage on the Fraud eSports team. As you can see, that's going to go straight to these towers. It will take down a tower. Now this mid lane is pretty exposed here for Fraud eSports.
Wow, Jaina taking frost armor here for her level 7 talent. Generally, we see that lingering chill, I believe is the name of it, but increasing the chill, the damage chill, and instead going for a little bit more of a sustain there. It's interesting. We don't often see that talent.
Interesting. I wonder why she would feel like she needs to do some shielding. I guess feeling like Rhaegar can't always be with her as she's roaming around quite a bit, so maybe needing to take a little care of herself.
Well, it definitely helped there. They were able to take out Tassadar without either of them dying, and they're going to continue attacking these bottom bruisers here. Both of them getting pretty low, though. It's quite hilarious here. Meanwhile, their teammates are trying to deal with this big push coming out of Fraud, though, with Bellamorte just sitting there attacking the structures, and anybody who happens to come into her range, they're taking a lot of damage, not really being able to push off Fraud at this point.
That's such a frustrating feeling when you're dealing with Sergeant Hammer. You can't even get close enough to do anything to her as she just wails down on you and your wall. Luckily, Goon Squad is happy to have gotten those bruisers in the bottom lane. Only Tassadar is down there to deal with them at the moment. They have managed to defend a little bit here in the top lane as well. There's a lot of creep spread going around too, so Zagara has lots of mobility and vision, taking advantage of that. Now 3 here in the top lane, 4 versus 2, and maybe they will do a little pushing of their own.
Yeah, well, they've picked up their heroic abilities, so they know that they can push here. They don't really have to spread out as much, whereas Fraud's still trying to spread out because they don't have their heroic abilities yet. They're not at level 10. We have Devouring Maw, Rain of Vengeance, Water Elemental Stage Dive, and Ancestral Healing here for the Goon Squad.
All 5 of them now pushing in the top lane. It looks like this fort will go down. Poor Uther all by himself running around. No, please don't hurt my building. And it goes down anyway. They will now rotate. It looks like they're headed down toward turn-in. Do they have enough? They certainly do. They have enough to turn in, so they could get another barrage from Blackheart.
Yeah, they've already got 8 in the bank too. That's always a good feeling to know that you don't have to try to turn in that many coins, but Uther a little bit out of position here, does get stunned by Uther, but nobody really to follow up on that. And here they go. They're going to try to get a turn in. Looks like for the most part, Fraud's not trying to contest this just yet. They are coming in now, but will they be too late? 2 coins go in the bank. Here go the last 2, and there they do. Get the turn in, and as we do have this team fight here, Teeves taking a lot of damage from Sergeant Hammer's heroic. There goes the mod. Only grabs Keepers, but Yoda's actually caught between the mod and Illidan, so will go down. Teeves going to stage dive in, but there's really nobody to capitalize on that, and everyone's going to move away. Valla was down bottom the whole time. It was a 4v5, and that's going to be a favorable engagement for Fraud.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of panic on behalf of Goon Squad. Just none of the positioning was what they would have wanted. Now their bottom lane will be demolished very quickly. We see the damage from Illidan as well as from Sergeant Hammer happening down there. They do have 4 people up now, though, so 5 people at this very moment, so they're going to defend. Good choice from Fraud eSports to go ahead and fall back.
Yeah, and Fraud's definitely got enough coins to be able to turn in now, so they're going to drop them off at Blackheart. It's going to give them a little bit of space to be able to try and get some map presence back. Most of the Merc camp so far have been going to the Goon Squad, so Fraud would like to turn a little bit more aggressive now that they have their heroics, which, by the way, are Archon, Napalm Strike, Divine Shield, Avatar, and Metamorphosis.
Very cool. Interesting. Anything there that you think is interesting, or are we seeing pretty much standard here?
Yeah, very standard there from heroics on both sides.
We do see a lot of action here in the bottom lane. Almost all members of Fraud eSports are there, and not Goon Squad. Goon Squad's got 2 members up there trying to do some work with the mercenaries. They will join now. They definitely don't want their teammates getting picked off, and the level disparity is not high enough that there's much of an advantage. Although being level 13, Goon Squad does have just a tiny step up as they have their talent tier.
Yeah, they do, and they're doing a great job of zoning Keepers, who has no mana, and he will be the first one to drop in that fight. And the rest of the Fraud is just going to try to move away, maybe try to pick up their level 13. They'd really like to do that same and get back on the same tier. But chests are spawning. Blackheart is giving out some gold. And unfortunately, because of all of the lane pushes here in favor of the Goon Squad, Fraud can't really try to come in and get these. All these coins are going to go to Goon Squad.
And they probably are going to have direct access to this turn-in. They will run there immediately, and they will likely get some action from Blackheart right away.
Fraud is going to go and pick up their bruisers, so at least they are trying to stay active on the map, pick up their 13. There they are. So once again, they are caught up in levels, and they would like to force a team fight, but that doesn't always happen on this map. This map is very PvE focused. You could sometimes win a game without really getting into any engagements, but here they go to the bottom. They know that's where the Goon Squad is, and that's where they're trying to set up some sort of engagement.
Goon Squad recognizing that they were about to get collapsed on and pulling back, getting a more favorable place to engage. Looks like no one yet is trying to take a few shots on those bruisers. They are waiting patiently to see who will be the victor. It is 5-on-5 now, so we see the engage from Haunwen jumping right in, but the metamorphosis from Illidan happens right now, and Teebs is out of position, but we'll get Ancestral healed. Haunwen hot on his tail, but also getting all sorts of damage done. Kiefer is now out of position, will go down, and that makes it a 5-on-4 engagement, or a 5-on-3, excuse me, which does not want to happen for Fraud Esports. Anxiety Lil also getting pulled out of position, trying to run the opposite way to get out of the way, get up chasing them. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. I think he's going to get away.
Oh.
Really smart decision.
Wow. Yeah, that dimensional shift going the other way just barely helped him secure, but unfortunately because they lost 2 heroes there. This map is getting painted blue for the Goon Squad, picking up those sieges. They're already going for the bottom bruisers, and they're almost to 16 as well.
Yeah, that was a critical engagement that I think we will see turn the tide. As long as Goon Squad can continue to capitalize on this lead, they're in a really good spot now.
Yeah, they still have almost all of their forts up. They've only lost that mid fort so far. Meanwhile, there are 0 forts left for Fraud, and that's just a really telling sign on these maps where your structures are your team health versus these map mechanics, and they've got a little bit of a ways to go when it comes to catching back up in structures and in levels.
Yeah, Get Up actually turning 4 coins in right now, and Teebs following that up with another 6. It's really telling, again, that they're able to do that without needing to have all of the members of their team there to protect them. They've had a lot of access to that turn-in, and they can see that nobody's there to contest, as we've got creep spread all over the map that's not really being cleaned up either. So Fraud Esports kind of on the back foot, looking to make sure that they're defending and getting their footing back, making sure that their lane's not being pushed in, but it looks like Goon Squad is sneaking up behind them, cutting off their access to fighting under their forts. That is not a position they want to be in. Haunwen metamorphosizing, trying to get out of the way. The Maw goes down and holds Lex Uther back from doing any healing. The rest of the team will manage to get behind the wall, but Muradin did go down.
Lex Uther still being chased by Zagara, who is carpeting after him. He's I'm not sure where you will go, Lex Uther, but I believe in you. Keep going, my friend. Here he goes. I'm just gonna watch this chase. He's really trying. Oh no, a totem from Get Up will slow him down, and now Jaina's about caught up, and this is gonna be a lot of damage. He's slowed thanks to a chill, and he's running right into the fort. I think he just realized that, and he will go down. But he did at least distract the team members for a long time while his teammates could push back lanes a little bit, regroup, and they really only need a little bit more of experience before they're going to be back up to 16.
Yeah, that's something to note a lot of times. I mean, Uther was kind of dead to rights there, but as long as the rest of the team is willing to follow him around, that is giving the his teammates an opportunity to do other things on the map when he would have just been dead if he had run a different direction. So definitely smart use there. We also saw it work for Tassadar earlier, so interesting to note that the most logical path is not always the one that's going to work the best.
Righto, interesting distortion beam for Tassadar. So going to be slowing a bit. A lot of times you see prescience there. So favoring slowing of enemies over getting an extra dimensional shift. But this is a boss and bruisers now pushing toward this top. There's no, there is a keep left. I can't see correctly, but there is a keep here. This is going to be a lot of damage on this keep, even if Fraud can wipe the team here, which is what they're trying to do. They're coming in. Not really doing much damage here yet, though. They need to have Sergeant Hammer there, and there she is, but already Muradin has been killed. How is kind of stuck between so many people, and he'll go down as well. And now, once again, Melamorte, Lex, Uther, and Anxiety are the only ones up. Uther will go down, and this is going to be game. Boss and 5 members pushing in on the core.
Yeah, actually, Fraud managed to get a turn in during all of that action, and we did see a fort go down, but it was too little too late as the core will melt, and Goon Squad will take Game 3 and move on to what, Gilly?
We'll be moving on to the finals. So we're going to have Goon Squad versus Wild Growth. It's a matchup we've seen several times before in other semifinals and finals matches, and so that's going to be really fun. It'll be another best of 3 as well. And so that's something to look forward to. Any final thoughts on that game? I wish we could have seen the rest of the series, but maybe just on that game.
Well, Blackhearts, like you said, really is a PvE game. So if you find yourself running around in a group not really accomplishing anything, you can know that you're behind. Because what Goon Squad was doing was taking all sorts of advantages, especially Jaina murking so early on in the game and taking lots of coins, got them many more turn-ins than their opponents, and also kind of managed to have a bit more experience soak by just having people all over the map. So you really can manage to not be quite so aggressive and really get yourself a lead that paves the way to being aggressive on this map. So I think you're absolutely right in thinking about this map as a way to be a little less, I don't know, opponent engaging, if you will.
Yeah, I think that the Goon Squad did a really good job. They saw that there was a Sergeant Hammer on Fraud Esports team, and this is a map where you have to be mobile and get all around the map collecting coins from the chests when they spawn and the pirate camps when they spawn. And then when you take an engagement, then going after merc camps, or when you turn in going directly to some merc camps or going to push directly. It's just you have to make really fast, decisive decisions and go very quickly and get where you need to go very quickly too. And I just felt like the Sergeant Hammer was a little bit of a hindrance when it came to mobility as well. But just a great job, I think, overall from Goon Squad in securing that win.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the finals now. We will see you there soon.
Yes, we will be there in just a few minutes. See you guys in a sec.